Right, today we're having a little look at a few fishing marks along the coast here. Going down to have a look at Mudeford Quay. And Mudeford Quay itself is not really that much of a mark for beach casting anglers as such. It's more of a sport sea fishing. It is sea, yes, but it's more for sort of spinning and kids crabbing and all that on the actual quay itself. Mostly due to the fact the tide absolutely rips through what is a fairly narrow entrance, trying to empty an entire harbour or fill an entire. It's also a paid car park, and in keeping with greedy Bournemouth Coastal Port Council, even disabled drivers have to pay. Can fish the backwater here inside the harbour. Just have a little walk around in a minute. As I said, it is a paid style car park, and in keeping with car parks in most tourist locations, it's a fairly pricey car park if you're going to park for any length of time. Although you will notice that even at this time of year the car park is quite busy. This is 6th of February 2023. Been a winter's day, the sun is quite low in the sky, and we will get a few horrible sun flares on the filming. Can't be helped. So there we have it, £1.90 for an hour, £3.40 for 2 hours. Only notice the cynical way the actual charges are set at odd amounts of money, knowing that people generally won't have the correct change, so they'll be ripping you off for extra 10s and 20p's all the time. We're going to get a few sun flares and sun flashes on this video, which is almost impossible to avoid, although I edit the worst of them out. But this is 6th of February, winter's day, blue sky, sunshine, fairly warm. So the low sun in the sky is unavoidable. Mudeford Sandspit. This is still a working quay, as you can see from all the lobster pots and fishing paraphernalia laid out on the quay. The Avon House Inn, that used to be a nice old fisherman's pub, a couple of tiny little bars where you slid in on a stool and everybody had to get up to let the first one in leave. You get a pint and a pasty, and then, I don't know, 40 years ago it was modernised into a tourist cafe and whatnot. And that's about the only customers it sees now. Most people object to paying £3 or £4 to park a car in the pub car park, so you only get the tourists in the summer here and now. Mudeford RNLI lifeboat station. You can of course come and fish inside the harbour here, and often if you turn up to fish off the quay and the tide is hurtling through, making it impossible, you've got quite deep water quite close in, and I've had a few bass and a few mullet and etc. out of here. Hengistbury Head, centre of the picture. You can walk from there all around to end up on the sandspit opposite. Sandspit where we've got all the famous £250,000 beach huts. With no electric, no drainage, no running water. Share a shower and a standpipe. 250,000. And they said there's no money about in the world. Mackerel trips out in the summer, 2 or 3 well-known local charter skippers take you out for a couple of hours, go and catch some mackerel. Quite a decent walk from Hengistbury. You have to park in the car park and then you walk, or you can catch a noddy train down to the beach here, then it's only a short walk along here, but it is a very nice walk with the nice weather. Bring a picnic, stroll along, or cycle as somebody appears to have done opposite. You see the waves breaking out there. That sandspit does extend quite a fair distance along, and you do get a few people trying to get in with boats, think they can slide over it. No, it doesn't work. You have to follow the channel, and realistically you're going right down to almost the end of the car park before you can turn into the channel. It is extremely shallow, as you can see the waves breaking there. This is, as I said earlier, more of a spinning for bass and kids crabbing venue than a serious angling venue, although we do get quite a few anglers. Most of you actually fishing from the beach will go to Avon Beach or Steamer Point, which is the next one along.
Oh, there is a couple.
You can actually walk along here and the footpath takes you all the way along the front to Avon Beach. There's a large car park at Avon Beach, which again is always a paid car park, although most anglers don't park in that car park in front of the cafe, but what we call behind the fir trees, which we'll come to later, which is a short walk down a flight of stairs to get to the beach. And you can park there for nothing on the road. And Probably a 10-minute walk along the front to Mudeford Quay. We have one or two charter boats operating out of Mudeford during the season, but the problem is that this can be quite tidal, and in fact the run almost dries out to the point where you can walk across and only get your ankles wet, which restricts the time of day they can come and go. This is a path you walk along to get to Avon Beach. It's a caravan park. I think it's a mixture of residential and holidays or holiday homes. This is where we come to Avon Beach.